channel. My name's Tim and this is Tim the Trailman, and this is another trail here in Colorado that we're going to be hitting. So if you've been following along this Colorado trip, we've driven 1,600 miles to get here from Atlanta, Georgia. We've hit the north end of Alpine Loop, which included Imogene Pass. Then we hit the south end of the Alpine Loop, which included Cinnamon Pass down into Silverton. The last video we just did is Ouray Pass and landed in Telluride, and now we are heading out of Telluride and we're going to hit the infamous Imogene or Imogene. Tell me in the comments how you say that thing. And I'm looking forward to it. We're going to hit Imogene, and then wind back up at camp later tonight. But follow along as we go down this journey and enjoy this trail. To my understanding, it's supposed to be more difficult than Ouray Pass, but not nearly as difficult or scary as Black Bear Pass. So let's see what happens. All right, so before we hit Imogene Pass, we drove past it on purpose, and we're over here by Bridal Veil Falls, and we're also looking at Black Bear Pass. And as you can see on the screen right now, they are clearing the rocks off to get those switchbacks ready for the season, for everybody to be enjoying it. So I don't know if I'll be here in time by the time they open it, but Black Bear Pass is going to be officially opening this season. So head on over to those Facebook pages, check it out.
This trail has no shortage of amazing views, and it starts off right here at the beginning of the trailhead. Google Maps will take you right to the beginning of it, and it literally is just at the end of a city street. And how cool would it be to live in Telluride knowing that a world famous trail like Imogene Pass is right at your back door? Of course, the first half of this trail is going to be mostly climbing in elevation, and you can probably do it in two-wheel drive, but we would leave it in four-wheel drive, 4-high as much as we can just for better traction. And then shortly after climbing up out of the town, you're met with this beautiful waterfall, but also a little sketchy area for navigating the trail. And this is a sheer cliff. There's definitely a far drop off. I don't have a great view of that, but you are going to want to keep your eyes on the road and being careful as you navigate the trail. If you're scared of heights, this trail will definitely give you a challenge and a run for your money for your fear. But the trail is wide enough for most vehicles, and if you keep your eyes on the road and take your time, with beautiful weather, you easily can do this trail and conquer your fear and have a great time exploring places that many people will never get to see.
All right, so we're about halfway up to Imogene Pass, and when you actually leave Telluride, you're actually getting on Tomboy Road. So as a whole, you're not going to actually be on Imogene Pass for a while, but this is about halfway up, and we saw an F450 single axle hook tow truck coming on the way up, and the county road guys told me that they charge $500 an hour. So there's a Jeep somewhere up here broke down, and they're going to come and get it. And I'm not saying it's a Jeep thing, it could be a 4Runner, it could be whatever, but you break down on Imogene Pass, and it's $500 an hour from the time the guy leaves the house. But check out this town, wore out town. I don't know the name of it, but if you do, let me know in the comments. But it obviously has been here a while. But the views are great. I believe the top of Imogene Pass is just going to be a bunch of gravel and shell stuff, but it'd be super cool to be there. So we're going to eat lunch and then get back on the road. And the next stop, I think the pass is up there somewhere. So we'll see what happens, but let's see what the trail's got for us.
From here, you're going to continue to climb to the top of the pass, and the views just become more amazing. We were definitely blessed with beautiful weather for safe driving and clear blue skies to take into the full scenery. We were amazed to see that there was still snow here on the mountain in the middle of July.
Along the way to the top, we've got a little snow shelf here.
This is just after the 4th of July weekend. From here, you're going to continue to go up into the Shelf Road. It's been famously documented on YouTube many of times, and the road is not that sketchy and scary, like off camber type things, but as you do drive up the Shelf Road, you'll notice that there's no room for error, as the shoulder is right there on your driver's side and passenger side as you navigate the switchbacks. But I couldn't help but notice as we were going up and trying to battle my fear of heights that the views were amazing, and that's what I was able to stay focused on as we were going to the top.
Check it out, everybody, we made it. There's the infamous building at Imogene Pass with some radio tower signals, I believe. And check out this view. We're gonna head over to the sign here in a minute, but there was some side-by-sides and some Jeeps taking some pictures. But we made it to the top. So coming up out of Telluride, not too bad. I'm being told that going down the other side towards Ouray is gonna be a little bit more technical. But let's walk over here, see if there's some mail in the mailbox, and looks like something was broke down right there. So let's take a look at it and see. But popular day up here at the pass, not too windy, but great times. Oh, look, no mail, nothing, not surprising. But man, these views are great. Let's go ahead over here, check to the sign, and see what we got here at the top. Side by sides are going down here, turning around, but not too bad. The 4Runner struggles a little bit from time to time, still overheating. We run 4 low in first gear. We do have to run the heater. I believe we're over 12.6, so let's see what the sign says. I know it's a famous trail. You probably already know what the elevation is without me telling you, but let's take a look at it. Here we go. Imogene. 13,114 feet. We're gonna make our way down now, get out of the wind, but what a great opportunity. I highly recommend it. Little sketch on some of the sides. Now here it's only gonna get a little bit worse on the way down, but let's see what happens.
Okay, so this is a spot where you can't always believe what other people tell you on how trail conditions are or what their level of difficulties will be, no matter what the app might say. But what other people were calling super technical was not that crazy. It was mostly flat shelf roads or flat lands that you were going to be driving down. And here's an example. Like, it is a little bit of a steep decline going down the mountain and some rocky ledges that we hadn't necessarily encountered, but there was really no risk of rolling off the road or dying, if you would. But the camber or articulation of the vehicles, we wanted to make sure that we were taking good lines, as the vehicles did need to drive us 1,600 miles back to Atlanta, Georgia in a couple of days. And so being on mostly stock-ish 4Runners, taking our time and enjoying the scenery as well as not damaging the rides was a top priority. But this may be a spot that people were calling technical, as there's really nothing else below this as we drive down that would be defined in my book as a technical part of the trail. But the views continue to amaze. Going down the backside of the mountain all the way to Ouray is definitely what I would recommend, and turning around to Telluride would have been a waste and missing out on more of this beautiful trail. Shortly after coming off the summit, you'll head down to an area and there's a pull-off called Poser Rock. If I'm incorrect about that, correct me in the comments. But to be able to pull out on this is going to take a lot of confidence. As like I said, I'm scared of heights, and so I chose to stand on the edge of the rock and let Justin drive the 4Runner out to the edge. You'll see here in the drone footage that we actually did not accomplish getting it all the way out to the edge, as it's terrifying whether you're the one standing on the edge of the rock or if you're the one in the driver's seat. Many have told me the more that you do it, the more confidence you get. But I was happy to have the 4Runner out there for this epic moment and a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to film it with such beautiful weather and great friends. And so if you are ever out on Imogene Pass, going down the backside of it makes it all worth it if you do want to brave the idea of pulling out your vehicle onto Poser Rock. I want to give a huge shout out to my patrons. Thank you for your support. It means a lot to me and my channel. If you'd like to be a patron, please head over to patreon.com/TimTheTrailman. Now, as we continue to head down the trail, there's not too much left to mention on Imogene Pass, as the big things are behind you, but it is super cool to see the change in terrain from wide open spaces with shelf roads, rock and gravel, to the forest lands down below. There are a couple other things that are coming up here that I do want to mention that happen along the day and to end out the journey from the trip to Colorado as we wrap up this series. Here, there is a fun river crossing that there are multiple ways to go around and that you can pick your path, but as you can see, my friend in front of us, he went a path and found quickly that it was not going to be able to be passable with a stock-ish 4Runner. So we were able to go around and find another river crossing spot, and or I believe there's a bypass with a bridge that you can go over it. But such a cool time to be able to take opportunities or slight risk and experiencing a place to go that really isn't off the trail, but you do get to pick where you want to pass on the river. And then, as I mentioned before in the video, that I bumped into that wrecker and that they were looking for a Jeep. I'm not sure if this Jeep was the one they were looking for, but it was mentioned in the newspaper for the local news that a Jeep had gone off the trail and that 3 people were in the Jeep when it happened. None of them were seriously injured and were able to be rescued and returned to town with minor injuries. So maybe that's what the wrecker was looking for, but as you can see here, there was nothing dangerous about the trail. I don't know what happened, so I will not speculate. But always keep your eyes out and be ready for the unexpected here on the trails, no matter where you're at. Thank you for watching to the end. If you made it this far, I wanted to show you what happened on the ride home. As we thought our trip was ending, there was definitely something that happened in Oklahoma that none of us were expecting and changed the future course for travels. I'm the one in the vehicle with the dash camera. My buddy's the one in front of me with the blue FJ Cruiser and the yellow camper. Thanks for watching.